Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a one note video and we're going to be talking about Pear fragrances. So I'm going to be sharing a few Pear fragrances that I have in my collection. Before I get started, if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Amy. I do videos on fragrance, beauty, self-care, and body care. If you like that type of content, don't forget to subscribe before you leave today's video. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. I'm so happy to have you here with me today and I appreciate you guys so much. So with that said, let's go ahead and let's get started with today's video. Okay guys, so I haven't done a one note video in a really long time, or at least it feels like it's been a while. So today we're going to be talking about Pear fragrances in my collection. So these are the ones that I have in my collection. I'm sure that there's way more Pear fragrances, and when I was looking at the notes of fragrances in my collection, there's a ton of fragrances that have Pear in them, but I wanted to talk about the ones that kind of just the Pear really stands out. There is one or two where the Pear isn't the main star of the fragrance, but I still pick up the Pear. So I'm going to start off with the ones that just the Pear is just juicy, it's there, you know that it's Pear. So the first one that I'm going to be talking about is one of my favorites. I love this fragrance for springtime. It's very girly, very juicy, very uplifting, just a beautiful fragrance. And this is Clean Reserve Radiant Nectar. First of all, I just love their packaging so much. It's simple, but it's still beautiful at the same time. And this fragrance, it's so good. So this one, the top notes are musky, fruity, powdery, sweet, floral, amber, aquatic, woody, and fresh. I agree that this is a very musky fragrance. So you have pear, it's musk, it smells very fruity, and there is this aquatic touch to it, which just makes it perfect for spring, perfect for summertime. It's probably up there on my favorites, which it's so good. God is a Woman from Ariana Grande reminded me so much of this fragrance, but there was something about that fragrance that it just disappeared to me. I don't know if I was nose blind to it or what, but this one on the other hand, I can smell it for a really long time. It lasts on my clothes. It's beautiful. It's not super long lasting, but it lasts almost an entire day for me, and it sticks onto my clothes really well. The Pear in here, it's very juicy, it's very bright, it's sweet. It's so beautiful. I love this one so much. It has like that shampoo, clean vibe to the fragrance. And it's just amazing. I really recommend, if you go to Sephora, I'm not sure if they have testers of these, but if you can sniff this anywhere, give it a try because this one is beautiful. So that is Clean Reserve Radiant Nectar. Next up, I'm going to be talking about another super juicy pear, and this one takes me to the ocean at the same time. So this is a juicy pear mixed with a sailing day out in a boat. It just gives me those vibes. And this is Giorgio Armani Ocean Dijoya. Here is the gorgeous blue bottle for this one. I love the top on this one. It's so pretty. And this one is perfect for those people who don't really like super strong perfumes. You like to smell just that aquatic type of feel. It's easy. It's a crowd pleaser. It's very sweet. And the pear in here, okay. So the pear in here is very juicy, it's very sweet, but if you want a pear with, it's just the most natural smelling pear with the skin and everything, like you cut up a pear and you served it to someone, this pear is in here. It is the most realistic pear that I think I have smelled in a fragrance. This should be #1 for me in pear fragrances because I get like every single aspect of a pear, and it's mixed with this aquatic, just Ocean is a perfect name, but the pear in here is shining. It's so beautiful, and I love this for casual days, just running errands. It's not something that I would wear for anything fancy or anything like that, but this is one of the fragrances that I would always repurchase when I run out. And as you can see, I do have a little bit of a dent in this one. So I think when this one runs out, I would like to get a bigger bottle of this one. So the main accords for this one are white floral, fresh, green, fruity, citrus, sweet, musky, salty, aquatic, and powdery. The top notes are pear, citruses, and green notes. Middle notes are water, jasmine, salt, lily of the valley, and rose. And the base notes are musk and sandalwood. This one's beautiful. If you really love pear, this is a must-have. All right, next up we have Juliette Has a Gun Pear Ink. And this one is more of a recent launch, and I really love this one. The only thing is that I wish that it would last longer on me, but I think that this is more of a me problem because of the ambroxan. So I feel like I am one of those that goes a little bit nose blind to ambroxan, so that is what happens with this fragrance. But this fragrance is so beautiful. This is a super musky pear. So my husband really loves this fragrance, and every time that I wear it, he gives me a lots of compliments. But this one is a little bit less sweet than the first two that I mentioned. This one's more of pear with musk, not as sweet as the first two. This one is definitely a little bit deeper. It's like a more musky, sensual type of pear. It is sweet, but it's just not as bright and juicy as the first two. It's still beautiful. It's still very easy to wear. It's you can wear this on an everyday basis, but this one is just so nice. And the main accords for this fragrance are musky, amber, fruity, sweet, aquatic, powdery, and fresh. The top note is pear by itself. The middle note is ambroxan, and then you have musk and ambretellide as the base note. So it's a very simple fragrance. It's just a musky pear. Really nice, and I do love this fragrance. All right, next up I have one that is like a very, I would say this is a polarizing fragrance, and I didn't expect it to be that, but this is Burberry Her EDT. And I did review this fragrance when it first came out. It was recently launched, and I really enjoy this fragrance. Now, this fragrance is either people love it or they hate it. When I got this fragrance and I sprayed it for the first time, it was kind of like what I thought God Is a Woman was going to be from Ariana Grande. It's just a very sweet pear. And then there's florals that are just wrapping around that pear, and it's giving it a very feminine touch. It's very juicy, very feminine, bright, perfect for spring. This is just a perfect spring scent. Now, a lot of people have been getting very different notes from this one. There's people who get like a sour note in it. There's people who say that they got a headache from it, that it's too heady, that the florals are too strong. So luckily for me, because I usually do tend to have problems with florals, but I don't have no problem at all with this one. I think I pick up the pear the most out of everything. Some days I do pick up a little bit of that black currant that's in here. It depends. Some days I do, some days I don't. And the florals do kind of develop more as it dries down, and then it dries down to this musky, fruity floral fragrance. But the pear in the opening is amazing, it's juicy, it's just a beautiful pear. So the main accords for this one: fruity, white floral, fresh, sweet, floral, musky, rose, powdery, and woody. And the top notes are pear, blackcurrant, strawberry, and pink pepper. Middle notes are honeysuckle, peony, lily of the valley, and rose. And the base notes are musk and cedar. We are going to be talking about another beautiful spring scent, juicy pear. I love this one. This is Oscar de la Renta Bella Blanca. And here is the beautiful bottle for this one. I didn't expect to love this one as much as I do, and I just love it so much. So this one is another juicy pear with, I believe it's white florals. This one's so good. This one's very refreshing to me as well. And I do pick up more florals in this one. This one is less fruity than the Burberry Her EDT and a little bit more like floral and musky. And the pear is very close to this pear, which is realistic pear. Not as realistic as that one. I don't think anything compares to the pear that I pick up in that one. But it's close. Very musky, and it does have a green type of touch to it, but it's very light. It's like a watery green type of feel to this one. So the main accords for this one are white floral, green, fresh, tuberose, powdery, musky, fruity, and sweet. I don't really get too much tuberose in here. The top notes are pear, lily of the valley, and green leaves. The middle notes are jasmine, tuberose, orange blossom, and rose. And the base notes are musk, sandalwood, and white iris. Very, very nice fragrance. Next up, I have the 7 Virtues Vanilla Woods. So this is definitely more of your gourmand type of pear. Vanilla, it's like caramel, it's sweet, it's perfect for fall and winter. This one isn't like refreshing, it's not floral, it's not musky, it's just a vanilla, sweet, aromatic type of fragrance. I really, really like this one. I do pick up the pear, the caramel, and the vanilla in this one. When I first got this fragrance, I don't remember if I picked up the pear or not, but then it just started to really come through for me. I don't know if maybe with time, getting to know notes, you kind of can pick them up a little bit better, but the pear in here, if you love those sweet, vanilla, warm, and it also has a little bit of like a smoky touch in here. Really, really nice. And the main accords for this one are vanilla, sweet, caramel, amber, powdery, fruity, and balsamic. The top note is pear, the middle note is rose, which I don't pick up a lot of rose in here. And then the base notes are vanilla, caramel, and amber, which the amber in here is perfection. It's not too much, and the sweet kind of overpowers the amber. So the amber is just there to kind of ground the fragrance out a little bit, which I really appreciate. So if you love sweet vanillas with that pear touch, this is definitely a must-have. All right, this next pear fragrance is also another one that is pear, but it's more on the sweet side. It's not fresh or juicy or anything like that, but this one is Scandal Apari. So here is the gorgeous bottle for this one, and I really have not been giving this one love. I need to start wearing this one again, because the first time I tried this fragrance, I went crazy for it. This one has honey, so if you're not a fan of honey, I do pick up the honey in this one. Oh my God. Every time I smell this fragrance, this is like a masterpiece to me. It's just very unique. The honey in here is beautiful. It's not as thick as the honey in the original Scandal. This one is a little bit more airy, a little bit less thick and strong. And the pear is beautiful. It mixes in with that honey note, and it is just amazing. I really, really love this fragrance. So the main accords for this fragrance are honey, sweet, fruity, white floral, floral, aquatic, and fresh. The top note is pear, middle note is jasmine, and the base note is honey. Very simple fragrance, but oh my God, it's beautiful. The jasmine is not too loud, but it does give it that feminine feel to it. So I just get a lot of pear and honey. This is literally what I get. And there was a Victoria's Secret honey lotion and a honey scrub that I had, and I really liked to combine those two together because it just made the honey really, really nice. I love smelling honey and fragrances. As long as it's not way too much, but I mean the honey and scandal is really loud and it doesn't bother me either, so I guess I do love honey. But this is amazing. Another great Pear fragrance. Okay, so next up I'm going to talk about fragrances that have pear in them. They're not the star of the show. They're not the main thing that I smell, but I do pick up the pear and it adds a beautiful touch to the fragrances. So we're going to start off with Givenchy's Irresistible. Here is the bottle for this one. This one is such a gorgeous fragrance. This one I pick up the pear mostly in the opening. I get that beautiful blast of pear with a little bit of a powdery touch to it, which I believe is iris. I really love that combination of pear and ambrette. It is done a lot and it just works so beautiful. Then it starts getting a little bit sweeter and I start picking up the rose a little bit more, so that's where the pear kind of starts settling down a little bit. But the opening to this fragrance, that pear is amazing. This is a very like powdery, I feel like this is like a classy fragrance, really, really like a romantic type of fragrance. It's really just flirty. I just think of pink. I think of classy, put together, sweet, powdery type of fragrance. So the main accords for this fragrance are musky, fruity, rose, powdery, floral, sweet, iris, aquatic, woody, and fresh. The top note is pear and ambrette, middle notes are rose and iris, and the base notes are musk and Virginia cedar. And this is the EDP. I have never tried the EDT, so I'm not sure how that one is, but this is the EDP version and it is stunning. This next fragrance is unfortunately discontinued and it hurts my soul. I need to find another bottle because I don't even use this one a lot because I don't want to run out and I hate having to like save it and not enjoy it. But I really, really love this because there's almond in here. Almond is one of my favorite notes, and then there's pear in here as well. So this is Valentino's Donna Aqua. And when people say that they discontinue the best fragrances, this is a great example of that. This fragrance is, it's amazing. It's so good. And the bottles are so expensive because they're hard to find. I wish that I could find a huge bottle of this because first of all, the bottle is just perfection. I love the bottle. And the scent, pear with almond in the opening. It smells like a dessert. It's sweet. It's so good. This is so good. The main accords for this are floral, fruity, almond, sweet, nutty, tropical, lactonic, white floral, aquatic, and fresh. The top notes are almond and pear, and then you have frangipani and jasmine, and the base notes are sandalwood and hawthorn. This is very feminine, sweet, almond, pear. It's just perfection. I feel like I just wasted some by putting it in the tester strip, so I don't even want to do that because I don't want to run out of this fragrance. It's one of my favorite almonds, and then that pear in there just gives it like this juicy sweetness to it, and it just smells like a dessert. It is just so good. So if you love gourmand fragrances, this is beautiful. It's gourmand, but it also has a floral and just kind of like fresh touch. It's perfection. Those are my fragrances that have pear in them. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below if there are any other pear fragrances that you guys recommend where the pear is just like the star, it stands out. I would love to hear the fragrances that you have that have pear in them. Let's go ahead and let's chat in the comments section. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And that's going to be all for me today. Thank you so much for being here. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And I will see you guys in my next video.